So I was browsing Reddit recently and I found this article about investigating the build size of a Webpack configuration and just like all the stuff it transpiles for us. And I thought that'd be kind of cool to see on like webcrunch.com or something. So I might walk through, or I'm planning to walk through at least one or two of these tools just to get some idea of the stats. There's quite a few options here to choose from in the article. I think he's just comparing the tools and giving some background behind each. There's a tool called Bundle Phobia. So that's kind of neat. You can actually check how much stuff is going to add to your app in terms of like actual bundle size, the download time, all that stuff. There's a lot of crap in some of these libraries. So you have to like make sure it's not too much. So Vue and React are kind of the same, but so that's a neat tool to see some stats around that stuff. You can also like scan your own setup. So I might do the one here called Webpack Visualizer. It looks the neatest anyway. So you would have to establish this in our Webpack configuration, maybe. I wonder if I need to even do that with the other one. I'm just curious to see if we could just like analyze our given setup. Like this says. Maybe I'll try this one first. So Webpack Bundle Analyzer. I'm on a new branch on my WebCrunch site. So this is my actual live site, but I'm working on just a new branch. Probably won't put this live or anything anywhere, but I'm just experimenting. So I want to add this Bundle Analyzer library. It's via Yarn, so we'll go ahead and add that. And I'm just curious to see what stats come back. I'm fairly certain I have too much in terms of build size, just because I was kind of scrappy with how I built the original blog and everything, but it's seemingly working okay. So then we need to create the stats.json file. So I'll follow this guide in the current directory. Doesn't look like we can, so maybe it's this. And that doesn't look good. Oh, here we go. Config. This is on specific Rails app. Looks like it's doing its thing. My fan's kicking on. There we go. So I've got that project open, I believe. If we go into our stats, we'll see a bunch of junk here, which is cool, but we also kind of want to see some actual analytics. Now we've got this tool utility available to us, and we could tentatively run this. Okay, I think I need to run that one command one more time because I actually ran it and then quit it quick. So I'll run it, and then I will run the other command real quick and see what happens. I think we get a little local server. Yeah, and it shows me what's going on. So application is huge, 1.83 meg. That makes sense. That's probably basically relative to Tailwind and whatnot that I use. I think I use this is all the development environment, so this is not really analyzing the production environment. So this would be definitely smaller because I run the unused CSS or whatever it's called, purge CSS. My memory is terrible. So I use that in production. So if we were to run this in production, which I'm not going to do, you would see different results. We could probably run that maybe in production. I'm not sure. But you can see some of these libraries are just huge in some respects. So in many cases, like the popper.js library I use for a tippy, I think a tooltip helper, which is nice, but it's also just like, man, that much stuff you got to load for it. And then it compiles and chunks down with Webpack. So, and then highlight.js is kind of intensive if you need a lot of languages. For me, I kind of do. So that's pretty neat though, this stuff to see. TurboLinks is pretty massive. And then clipboard.js, of course, but you can see all this stuff in real time. I would say it's like I need this thing as a tool, but it's to kind of give some real quick feedback of what's going on in your app in terms of build size. This one looks a little more intensive. So referring to, we create the stats in our project and we can upload it to this site. So maybe we can add that file here now and see what's going on. Cool. So this is all the chunks hovering over. You see CSS is of course a lot. Node modules is crazy, but we could see all the stuff with this little visualizer and kind of pick through the real compiled assets that come back. So I with Rails, I turn everything into one main pack.js file that I load into the app. You can, you know, load multiple on multiple different pages so you need them, but I tend to keep one total. But you can see it's 1.8 meg for most of all of it, which is not small. It could be way better, but you know, like I said, scrappier than hell. But I thought I'd just share quickly this neat article. I'll link to it. It's nothing, you know, state of the art in my opinion, but it's a neat thing to have in your like toolkit if you want to figure out where maybe your app's slow. How can you analyze it and improve the speed? A lot of that is usually relative to JavaScript in particular these days anyway. So it used to be maybe around programming language you'd choose or amount of CSS you have to use to paint the screen. But these days, like most apps out there, are very JavaScript driven, even on the server. So that hopefully this stuff could be useful if you use Webpack. So figured I'd share. Nothing really formal about this video. Just wanted to kind of share the wealth. All right. Thanks for watching.